Hey guys, it's Gabriel here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're like me, you have a ton of things on your to-do list every single day, and sometimes you're just overwhelmed. You have not enough time to accomplish everything, and sometimes your other areas of your life like your health and relationship gets compromised because of your work. Now, if that sounds familiar to you, I want you to understand that I used to face that. You see, my time is super limited because I run two multi-million-dollar companies, a 7-figure agency as well as an 8-figure education company that needs a lot of my attention. I'm also a husband and I have to fulfill my duty as a husband to my wife, and I am recently a father to my newborn daughter, and my time is just super limited with all the things that is dragging me and pulling me on different sides. Yet I was still able to grow both my businesses, write and produce a new YouTube video every week like this, keep my wife happy by spending time and taking out additional time to spend time with her, taking out time to be involved as a father. And I was still able to sleep 8 hours a day and still make time to go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. I did not have to compromise my personal life, my health, my sleep, just to grow my business, which is what a lot of people do. Because I've learned how to produce high-level quality work while putting less time on my work. You see, it's easy to get caught up with all the business in life and constantly tell yourself that I'm too busy for this, I'm too busy for that because my business is taking a lot of my time. Now, in fact, if you cannot even focus just 8 to 10 minutes on this video, you're probably an easily distracted person, and that's probably the reason why you're not able to produce high quality work. And it's not because you have lack of time, it's just because you cannot focus. So in this video, I want to share with you how, despite the little time I have, I'm still able to produce more in my work by working less hours and not compromising on other areas of my life, and how I'm able to achieve a full 8 to 12 hours of quality work every single day just by working 3 to 4 hours a day if I want to. As usual, if you're new to this channel, I appreciate the early thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to my channel where I release a new video every week on business and marketing, productivity, and personal finance for entrepreneurs. These are my experience from building multiple 7 and 8-figure businesses from my home, all by optimizing my entire life, and I'm on a journey of investing my profits for absolute financial freedom. And by doing that, I'm able to travel around the world, spend time with my family, and doing the things I love. I'm also giving out courses on how we can build and scale a business online worth thousands of dollars for free. I run an ad to my subscribers to give these courses as giveaways, so only if you're my subscribers you will get to see this ad, so be sure to subscribe if you want to see it. So back to the video. Now, before I share with you the 5 ways to be extremely productive, it is important you understand this one thing first. There's a difference between efficiency and effectiveness. Most people focus on efficiency. Efficiency is also defined as being able to do a lot of things very quickly, but you may not be producing the best quality work. This is the reason why a lot of people say that they are busy, but they may be busy doing nothing. Effectiveness, on the other hand, is about doing something well enough that it gets things done. It gets you closer to your goals. So you can be efficient but not effective. So what we want to do is to be effective, not just being efficient. In other words, you want quality of time rather than quantity of time that you're spending on your work. Because there's a big difference when you spend 12 hours on your work versus someone who can actually focus for 4 hours. Now, I'm at a stage of my life where I can choose to only work 3 to 4 hours a day, yet I'm able to beat someone who is working 12 hours a day. See, the truth is, it doesn't matter if I'm putting 12 hours a day if I'm constantly distracted, checking my phone every 5 minutes, looking at social media every 5 minutes, getting distracted by people every 5 minutes, or someone is calling me every now and then because of some emergency. You see, that was me, and I was frustrated because I was working 12 hours a day, yet I didn't feel like I was going anywhere because I was just constantly distracted every single day. So I tried different ways after reading this book called Deep Work. Basically, when you're working on something and able to focus on it for a prolonged period of time, you enter into this thing called a flow state. Some people call this being in the zone, and that's where you're fully immersed in a feeling of energized focus, full involvement, and enjoyment in the process of the activity. This is the period where you are achieving the best quality of work. So when someone is spending 1 hour in a flow state, non-distracted, he or she could produce 10 times more than someone who is constantly distracted working 10 hours a day. So I decided to apply this principle in my life for the last few years, and I found that I was able to produce so much more or way better quality work in a short period of time. And this has led us to create multiple breakthrough work in my agency that has made us well known in my market. Now, it's different for everyone. Some people enter into a flow state after they're working for at least 30 minutes of non-distracted work, which means that if you're working on a task 100% focused for 90 minutes, the first 30 minutes is just to get you into the flow state. Then once you're in the flow state, you are in it for another 60 minutes. That adds up to 90 minutes. That means in the 60 minutes of flow state, you are able to produce 5 times or 10 times more than that first 30 minutes. And the deeper and longer you are in it, the more momentum you get and the better quality of work you produce. You see, the problem is that once you are in the flow state and you are distracted and you check your phone for just few seconds or even 1 minute, you break that flow and now you have to start all over again. Now, this is the reason why when someone asks me, can I have 5 minutes of your time when I'm in my deep work? It is not just 5 minutes. It is way more than that, because it disrupts me and I have to now spend another 30 minutes or 1 to 2 hours to enter into the same flow state that I was in before I got distracted. And of course, if you're constantly checking your phone every 5 minutes, you are never going to enter into the flow state, which is hard for you to produce your best work. This is the reason why I can be in 2 hours in flow state and I can win someone who is spending 10 hours but constantly checking their phone every 5 to 10 minutes. Because time is so limited for me, I want to enter into flow state as much as I can whenever I get to work so I can produce the best quality work with the limited time I have. So I'm going to give you 5 simple tips right now on how I stay focused, enter into flow state, and produce the best quality work. Number 1, time block your work. So what this means is to schedule a certain time in your calendar and do not allow any form of distractions. Now, I always like to time block 90 minutes because it takes me at least 30 minutes to go into my flow state and then a good 60 minutes to work on what I need to work on. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that the first 30 minutes I did nothing, right? It's just that I will only enter into the flow state after the 30 minutes and then I'll start to produce very good quality work during that 60 minutes. And then what I will do is that I'll rest 10 minutes. So you can schedule anything that you're working on into your calendar. So for example, recently I needed to write some video scripts, for example. So I will put this 90 minutes into my calendar and I'll work on that and that alone for 90 minutes. Now, if you're working on a very heavy project that requires more than 90 minutes, you can actually block out your entire day, but still do it in a cycle of 90 minutes and then rest 10 to 20 minutes and then go back to the 90-minute cycle and repeat the process. Now, do take note that when you are time blocking an entire day and you're doing 90 minutes, resting 10 minutes, you want to make sure that you do not check your phone or go on social media during that 10 minutes. So here's the interesting thing. When you're in the flow state, you can still go and take a break, provided that you don't switch tasks and do something else. So that 10 to 20 minutes of rest, what I would like to do is I like to do meditation, things that doesn't require me to go and check other things or switch tasks. Because once I switch tasks, now my brain resets. I have to re-enter into the flow state, which is the reason why during your break, be very conscious not to be using social media. And the other thing is that if I'm in my flow state and I'm in my 90 minutes and I stop and then I take a 10-minute break and I'm doing meditation whatsoever. Now, your mind doesn't stop working when you stop. Your mind is actually still thinking about it. There's still lingering effect of that flow state. So when I'm spending 10 to 20 minutes to just rest and just meditate and do nothing, I'm actually essentially allowing my subconscious to work. And this is also where a lot of creative work are being produced when I'm doing nothing. And I'm still in my flow state. So when I go back to my 90 minutes, I am still continuing on that flow state, all right? In fact, compiling it, going even longer and deeper, rather than having a reset if I were to use my social media. So this leads to my second point. No phones. Throw your phone away if you have a problem focusing. This is definitely a distraction if you're constantly checking on social media, on WhatsApp, and all kinds of stuff all the time. Now, if you look at my phone, I do not have any messaging app in the first page of my phone, because what's important is not all the things that are taking away time from me. I want to have apps that adds value into my life. So this is the reason why on my phone I have apps like Kindle and Audible and all kinds of learning app that is on the first page, not WhatsApp, not social media. And I turn off all notification for all my apps. Now, I understand that some of you here will be worried. What if people cannot reach you? You know, you are in a job where people need to find you. I totally understand that. This is the reason why I will check on my phone at a certain timing throughout the entire day. So I will check it sometime in the morning, I'll check it sometime in the afternoon, and I'll check it sometime at night, in the evening before I turn off from work. I will let people know and I communicate to people if there's anything important or urgent, please give me a call. Which leads to point number 3. Tell people that you are in deep work and do not contact you unless certain emergency or situation happen. Because the important thing is that you gotta let people know that you're gonna time block for deep work. So what I like to do is I like to tell my team, hey guys, I'm gonna go for 3-hour deep work. And doing this deep work, during my flow state, I do not want to be distracted, so I will not be looking at my phone. And only call me if there's certain emergency. Now the funny thing is this, whenever I say this, most of the time there is no emergency and nobody will contact me unless there's something really important. And here's something to take note. You have to define what's really important, what's an emergency, because what's an emergency to my team may not actually be an emergency to me, because you don't want people to distract you for something they can solve for a certain amount of money. So I give you an example. I value my flow state so much because I know that if I'm in my flow state, I can produce work that is of tens and thousands of dollars of value. And I don't want someone to distract me and drag me out of the flow state and have me to reset everything again for something they can solve with $200. So here's an example of what I'll tell my team. Tell my team that, hey, I'm gonna go on a 3-hour deep work. I'm in my flow state. I do not want to be distracted. So do not call me, drop me a text and I'll get back to you after I'm out of my deep work. And do not call me unless there's an emergency that you cannot solve with $200. Okay, now the amount can be different for every one of you. $200 is up to you how much you want, but the idea is that you want to empower your team. And this is another lesson, to actually empower your people, your team members to solve whatever they need to solve, and even give them the authority to spend whatever money to solve it on themselves. And if they really cannot solve it for $200, or maybe let's say the emergency is like something that will cost tens and thousands of dollars, then they will give me a call. So you actually empower the team what they can solve with certain amount of money, and just empower them to do it and give them the responsibility to do it. So this way, I don't have people calling me and bring me out of my flow state just for something that we can solve for $200. Tip number 4, go and use focus brainwave music. Now there are a lot of these musics that you can find on YouTube. Just search focus brainwave and you'll get a ton of binary music or binary beats music that you can find on YouTube. I find that those help me, so I put on this. And the other thing about putting on music is that when I put on this music, it cuts me off from any noises that's around my environment. Because again, I don't want to be distracted, especially if you're working in the office where you're constantly distracted by your environment. Put on some music so you block out any noise that will distract you. Number 5, optimize your body and your health. Think about it. When you were sick, or times when you ate wrong food and you had a stomach upset, do you find it hard to have any motivation and not being able to focus on any task at hand? Right? So when you are not feeling well, it is harder for you to focus on anything. This is the reason why I work on my health and my body, not just because I want to be healthy, it's because I want to be more focused, I want to have more clarity, I want to think clearer so that I can work better and I can maximize my flow state. Now there's a lot to do when you're optimizing your body. I have personally spent over $30,000 to $40,000 a year just to test on supplements, on a bunch of stuff, taking blood tests and things like that to optimize my body. So I'll probably do another video if you're interested. Just share with me in the comment section if this is something that you want to see. But just to give you a quick summary on optimizing your body, the idea is to lower inflammation, which will help to clear brain fog so that you can focus and think with clarity. And in order to lower inflammation so that you can eliminate brain fog, all you gotta do is to cut off sugar, alcohol, and processed food as much as possible from your diet. If you can just do these 3 things, you will see a significant difference in your level of focus and clarity. So that's it. To summarize, quality of time is actually more important than quantity of time. And in order to maximize your time when you're working, you have to enter into this thing called a flow state. And that's by having absolutely no distractions when you are working. And you can do that by time blocking, scheduling your work. Number 2, putting your phone aside, turning off all notification. Number 3, informing people you are in deep work and don't come and distract you. Number 4, use focus and brainwave music. And number 5, optimize your body. So let me know what's your biggest takeaway from this video so far in the comment section below. I'll be replying every single one of them. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, as creating videos like this requires a lot more effort than you think, and this will greatly help this channel. You can also subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell where I release new video every single week on business, marketing, productivity, and personal finance for entrepreneurs. So that's all I have for you today. Bye for now.